dwarf-like, or this is what we call them, dwarf galaxies. But some of them are galaxies, full-blown spiral galaxies of their own. So it's interesting because the one thing that is kind of similar to all of these galaxies is that it's just a bunch of stars stuck to each other by some force, and that force is, of course, gravity. And that's maybe the most important force, or the most important glue in the universe. Gravity brings everything together, all masses together. So what it does, it makes sure that we're stuck here on Earth, we don't fall off of Earth. It makes sure that Earth goes around the Sun, and it's it keeps it in orbit around the Sun. It makes sure the Sun goes around the center of the galaxy, or it doesn't tear off the galaxy. But it also works on a much grander scale. So these two galaxies, the Milky Way and Andromeda, also attract each other under the same force, under gravity. So you can imagine that if you kind of fast forward to the future, these two galaxies that pull each other to one another will eventually collide, or will eventually meet with each other. And what will happen then? So I can tell you, well, maybe if we can figure out extending life significantly, we can talk about staying and observing it. But what we can do is, instead, is go to computer simulations. And I'm not going to say much about computer simulations. Rachel will say more about that. But the setup of this simulation is two galaxies, similar to the Milky Way and Andromeda in some way. You can see that the disks are both blue. Actually, color means age in this simulation. So blue means young, red means old. And what we do is we let gravity do its thing and see what happens when these galaxies collide. So you see that they kind of rush towards each other. And then as soon as they hit each other, oops. Let's try it again. Okay, so as soon as they hit each other, there you go. Something kind of spectacular happens to the disks of the stars, the stellar disks. They kind of go all over the place. And I'm going to let the simulation run a little longer. And you see that some of the stars are actually flown out of the system altogether. Some of them are being drawn back to the center. Some of them go in and out and back in. But this doesn't look at all like the initial, or the two galaxies that we put into the simulation anymore. And you see that the stars age, so everything becomes a little better. At this point, if I stop it, there are still two distinct galaxies. There's one core here and the second core here. The envelope of this mess is a little harder to kind of separate. But there comes a point where I can no longer say anything about the two galaxies that